The woman clothed with the sun will reside in her place for 1,260 days, which expands to 1,260 years using the Hebrew day for a year formula. Regardless, whether these are to be years or days, the number itself is of primary symbolic importance. For our present discussion, we will consider the time period as days, not years. The first question is, how did John arrive at the number of 1,260? The answer lies, oddly enough, in the amount of days in a year. Currently, we measure the year as 365 and a quarter days, but the ancient Israelites, as other nations, measured the year as 360 days. Immanuel Velikovsky pointed this out in his Worlds in Collision. This sacred year, 12 months of 30 days each totaling 360 days, became the basis of what is known as the Prophetic year. That is, it is the year used in the end-of-the-world prophecies, such as Daniel and Revelation. Using the Prophetic year as the symbolic basis for our reconstruction, we find the following mathematical results, all of which will aid in the interpretation of the sojourn of the woman, but also in the interpretation of several other events in Revelation. If we divide 1,260 days by 360 days, we arrive at 3.5 or 3.5 years. This matches the last statement of John, time and times and half a time. Each of these calculations will prove useful in our reconstruction. The second time John mentions the duration of the woman's stay in her place, he doesn't use 1,260 days. Instead, he says she will stay for a time and times and half a time. Since one replaces the other, they are meant to be equivalent. The formula of 3.5 times was first used by Daniel. Daniel used the formula in chapter 7 when describing a king who will arise from the dreadful beast in the latter days. Like the beast of John's apocalypse, the king will be given dominion to speak blasphemy against the saints. The dividing of time is the King James translation of the Hebrew meaning half. Most translations use half a time as in Revelation. Some scholars believe that John used the formula in his revelation to agree with Daniel's prophecy. More likely is that both were using a standard prophetic idiom. We must understand that both prophets got their visions from one source, Jesus Christ. The year of the ancient Israelites was 360 days. This served as the basis for the prophetic year. But there was a prophetic month as well. It consisted of 30 days. All months of the year were 30 days each, totaling 360 days, as Immanuel Velikovsky pointed out. By dividing the total number of days of the sojourn of the woman in her place, we arrive at 42 months. 42 months is the duration of two important periods in the apocalypse. First, the outside court of the temple will be given to the Gentiles. They will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months. Secondly, the beast will be given to blasphemy for 42 months. These two events are symbolically connected by their equal duration, 42 months. Moreover, since 42 months are equal to 1,260 days, they are symbolically connected to events whose duration is expressed in days. That includes the stay of the woman and also the amount of time that the Lord's two witnesses will have power to prophesy. The correlation of events looks like this. This correlation can't be a coincidence and begs several questions. Why are these events connected by the same amount of time? Why is the duration 42 months or 3.5 years or 1,260 days? That is there a significance to this particular amount of time? Lastly, what does the symbolism of these expressions of time mean?